Hello and welcome to Gender Forking a Twilight Saga podcast. My name is Sam.
My name is Lori.
This is our podcast.
And
today we'll be discussing Chapter 5 of Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, Blood Type. What is your favorite chapter?
Is it your favorite chapter of the whole saga?
I don't really know.
Okay. Mine is Mind Over Matter.
Yeah, that one's good too. I think as a kid, my favorite was like the whole meadow sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, still love it. Can't wait to get there.
Can't wait to get there.
In January.
2 years. Just kidding.
Yes, we just read this one chapter. It's a little bit longer than the others. It is 80% dialogue.
Yeah.
Between Bella and Edward.
Which is so amazing.
It is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
It is basically like endless banter with light angst.
Yeah.
Which is like, if I were to like go on Archive of Our Own and like look up any kind of fan fiction, that was what I would want.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Endless banter with light angst.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say that I would look for the same thing because I used to just read complete fluff.
Yeah.
It would either be complete fluff or
this
like
is really fluffy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not being forced to share one bed in a hotel.
I love one bed.
Yeah. One bed is like, it's the best. And then also like, it would either be like complete fluff or like absolute filth.
Yeah. Or both.
Or both. Yeah, both.
My favorite trope, I feel like I don't know very many of them, but I really like fake relationship.
Oh,
to real relationship.
I love fake relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Never gets old?
No, it really doesn't. One bed though. One bed or really long car trip. I love that.
Yeah. Trapped in some way.
Trapped.
Trapped.
I want people to be trapped. Mm-hmm. And you know, like this dream came true when I caused a power outage in our small town. Right. And it forced all of my friends to gather into a home. Sam's home, including Sam and Alex before they were even dating.
After we had kissed one time.
After you'd kissed one time.
And didn't talk about it.
And it was truly, like, it
was really fanfiction-y.
It was so fanfiction-y. Yeah. Like, I was, like, waiting out, like, I was, like, looking out the window as they were, like, outside on the porch, and everyone was like talking, and I was like, if you don't stop talking so I can hear Sam and Alex talking, we're going to have problems. And I remember
we weren't talking.
Yeah. I know. And I remember Aaron being like, you are an absolute monster.
Wow. Like a little revisit to that time in my life.
Yeah. I had a lot of people text me after one of our last episodes to ask me who climbed up in my bed freshman year and played me an Enya song.
That's so funny.
A couple people from college texted me and asked me who it was.
Nice.
So that was really fun to tell them.
Yeah. Before we dive in, we've done a lot since we recorded the last episode a couple days ago.
Yeah.
We made a cake.
We made a cake.
We saw Rocky Horror.
We did.
That was absolutely wild.
And it really... We've watched Twilight.
We watched Twilight last night.
Yeah. And it inspired us to...
Don't steal this idea. This is ours.
Yeah. Trademark.
TMQ.
Copyright.
That's how it works.
Do a shadow cast of Twilight a la Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
It's going to be really good. Stay tuned.
We're not going to give you
any of our good ideas. But yeah, get involved if you want to. What else have we done?
We planned a road trip.
We're trying to get to Washington
guess
and
where?
Oregon. We're trying to get up to the Twilight spots, hopefully sometime in the next year.
Yeah.
In Forks today, it is sunny with a high of 52 and a low of 34. I am very excited about that concept. The concept of that weather.
That's what it's like at home. Alright, blood type.
Yep, blood type.
Where did we leave off?
We left off.
He just asked her to Seattle.
Yeah.
relatable. That's what I did to you today.
Yes. And so she's going into English class in a daze. Mm-hmm. And Mike isn't sitting in the seat that he usually sits in next to her.
Oh, yeah, Mike is sulking.
Yeah.
He's being a little brat.
But then he walks with her and Eric.
The beach trip is coming up. It's been kind of like mentioned. Push baby.
It's push.
There's a couple moments in this chapter, or maybe many moments, where we just get so many funny comments about Edward through Bella's eyes.
Yeah.
Some of it has to do with like her low self-esteem, and some of it is just like pure comedy. She refers to Edward on page 86 as perhaps just a very convincing dream that I'd confused with reality. That seemed more probable than that I really appeal to him on any level. It's like, why are you dragging yourself down so much?
Honestly. And then, so they go to lunch, and he looks over at Cullen's table.
She's looking for him.
And she starts to sulk because she doesn't see Edward. She only buys a bottle of lemonade.
Lemonade's important.
Yeah.
It becomes important to the plot.
But then Jessica's like, Edward Cullen is staring at you, and then she realizes that he is at his own table, and it says, once he caught my eye, he raised one hand and motioned with his index finger for me to join him. As I stared in disbelief, he winked. This is aggressively confident.
Yeah. He's like, where did this come from? Like, a couple of minutes ago, he was like, literally, this morning, he was like, you should probably stay away from me. And then he's like, come sit with me, wink, wink.
He's like, let's go to Seattle, and also, like, come sit with me.
Come sit with
wink.
me.
If a boy winked, okay.
Oh my god.
Like, the confidence that Edward has is wild, but it's also, like, it's different than, like, the cockiness that, like, Mike and Eric and Tyler are showing around Bella, and it's, like, that's, I feel like, what makes him unrealistic as a high schooler, like Edward's.
Right, but he's old, so
yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
Right. It's, like, that in combination with, obviously, the other things, but, like,
yeah.
I feel like all of them are just so comfortable with their role as a high schooler that, like, it's unrealistic because, like, they don't have any high school related anxieties or
they don't feel like
stresses.
Teenagers socially.
Yeah, and so, like, they don't have any of that, like, weird, I don't fit in, or, like, I want people to like me complex that a lot of high schoolers do.
Right.
Because they always have their siblings and they don't need anything else. And it's all for show. It's not, like, there's no social stakes for them.
Yeah, and it's comedy gold.
Yeah, it's great. There should be more of it.
Yeah. He's really bold in a way that doesn't come through in the films. I feel like reading this through this time, I'm getting a slightly different read on their relationship.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
And I think it really, like, I don't know. Okay, I feel like this is something I was thinking of yesterday when we were watching Twilight?
Yeah, yesterday.
Twilight, the movie, is not a comedy.
No.
But this book, it's not a comedy. It's clearly, like, a YA fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's funnier than the movie.
It's really funny.
It's really funny.
It's hard to pin down.
Yeah, and it's not, like, situationally funny. Like, nothing about the situation is
true.
Funny. It's, like, the people in it, like, the characters are funny.
Yeah.
And, like, well, obviously I laugh when I watch Twilight, and there are those funny moments. Like, it's not as funny as the book, and it's, like, it's trying to be a little more fake deep or something.
It's trying to be way more broody.
Yeah.
Where this is more like, I mean, I guess it has its angsty moments.
It does.
But Bella and Edward are just so, I mean, later in the chapter, they, like, kind of bond, or not really bond, but it just kind of feels apparent that they're kind of, like, older.
Yeah.
Intellectually. Mm-hmm. It just feels so different from anything I've ever read. It like,
does.
I don't know. I'm
trying to, like, find the words to say it. It's like
my read on their relationship this time it's kind of, I feel like I have a better understanding of their back and forth dynamic. Mm-hmm. I think in the past when I have read it, I mean, when I first read it, I didn't really think anything of it. And then maybe as I've reflected on it in the last couple of years, it has read as more dramatic. Mm-hmm. But now I'm kind of feeling like they just not bicker, but like not even banter. I don't even, what am I trying to say? Like, it is their vibe to just kind of like drag each other all the time.
Yeah.
In a way, and like sometimes they like it actually like they get mad about it, like for real, but like not in a destructive way or like an unhealthy way. It's just they're just like those kind of people that have like little tempers.
Yeah, it's like maybe this is it. So the things that are said really dramatically in the movie, I think are presented more comedically in the book.
Yeah.
So like when Edward says something like really dramatic in the book, Bella will be like, you know, I don't have any idea what you mean.
Right.
And then he'll smile and be like, I know. Yeah. Like, for example, I decided as long as I was going to hell, I might as well do it thoroughly.
Right.
That is like, it's one of my favorite lines. And I don't think it's super dramatic in the movie, but like, there's other examples of this.
Even when he says something like that, she couples it with like a much more down-to-earth narration or response. Like after he says that, her narration is, I waited for him to say something that made sense.
Yeah.
The seconds ticked by.
It's like, it's funnier.
Yeah. It's not as heavy.
I feel like I've seen people on Tumblr like edit Twilight in a different way that makes it less dramatic and more of like a rom-com. And that, like, that's really cool. I love those. It makes me wish that, although I love Twilight and I think Catherine Hardwicke like did the right thing in all of her decisions ever, I just wish that there was a rom-com version.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had the choice to watch
back to our Netflix
broody
special.
Yeah. I wish I had the choice between watching broody Twilight or watching like funny like teen drama.
Right. The movie is to the text what Pride and Prejudice 2006 is to the text, and what we actually want is Pride and Prejudice 1995 BBC miniseries.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly mimics the text.
And it's funny.
And like allows the dialogue to come through and like illustrate the characters.
Yeah. BBC, if you are listening and you want to invest in us, like, we would love to write the Twilight miniseries for you. We'll cast it.
Yeah.
We'll do everything. We'll do anything and everything. Okay.
There are some really dramatic moments. They kind of keep going back and forth between, like, he's trying to, like, tell her that he's dangerous, and he finally kind of does get through to her here. But it takes a little while.
Throughout this chapter, I want to say that Bella describes Edward's eyes as deep gold, glittering gold, ochre, etc. so many times that it's like, Bella, like, she literally must be having this conversation, like,
yeah, she's like staring into him.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What Lori just did was make intense eye contact with me.
I did. I just like widened my eyes a lot. You're right. Yeah. It's an audio medium.
On page 88, a little over 3 pages into the chapter, we get kind of like a little insight into how Edward is feeling. He says, I always say too much when I'm talking to you. That's one of the problems. And I feel like that's sort of a reveal about what he's experiencing that we haven't gotten before, because other than that, we're kind of like perplexed as to like what he's doing, just like Bella.
Which must be really weird for him, because he doesn't talk to that many people.
Right.
Like, obviously he'll talk to his family, but I don't feel like he has... Again, he doesn't have conversations with anyone that...
Yeah, he doesn't have enough human time, which is what I wrote on page 91 when she asked him if he was hungry, and he was like, no, I'm not hungry. And it's like, you never get to make that joke.
Yeah.
Like, you clearly haven't, like, had enough human time if you're just now getting to have your little, like, private joke. He's kind of, like, warning her in this section about being dangerous. And I just feel like it ends up not being that. I mean, like, I've always been kind of, like, on Bella's side that, like, it's not that bad. You know?
So you're saying that if your partner, Alex, told you...
It's personal, but okay.
It's personal for Bella, too, so I'm just trying to conceptualize this for you.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Alex has been lying to you this whole time. Every time you've seen him eat food, he has coughed it up in the bathroom later. It's not really that unrealistic.
This whole time?
Sorry, Alex. I love you very much. And I know I throw up more than you, so it's okay. I have a condition. Alex has been lying to you for The last, how long have you been together?
2 years.
And how many months?
It's 2 years at the end of this month. Are you gonna cry?
Time flies.
Yeah.
When you set up your friends. He's been lying to you for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And his family.
He's been lying to his family, or his family's been lying to you?
Their family's been lying to you too.
Oh, okay.
So, his parents, his brother, hey Sam. It's my dream one day. It's my dream one day that he listens to this podcast. Also his aunt.
Yeah.
And his uncle. They're like the equivalent of like the Denali. Are all vampires. And they all have superpowers. And you are now in danger of the Volturi coming after you. And you're...
Well, Bella doesn't know about the Volturi.
Okay. But you don't think that's dangerous?
Okay,
Alex is dying every single day trying not to drink your blood.
I feel like yes, and that's so exciting. Because
oh my god.
Wouldn't you like to know that the supernatural exists? I just feel like it's fine and he's
What if I'm in on it?
I would be so shocked. First, I mean, like, also that's a very different situation because it's not like they've been dating for 2 years. They've known each other a little bit for 2 months.
Okay, when I was setting you and Alex up in October, the two of us,
2 years ago,
we were both vampires. We're both vampires.
You would have told me so long ago.
I can keep
I would
secrets.
also be a vampire by now.
Being bitten, yes. Thumbs up. Oh, okay. So it didn't work, but I feel like
Are you trying to make me? Are you trying to complicate my view? That's hard because I'm getting Bella's perspective only. I would just be like, I feel like all I've wanted my whole life is to find out that fantasy creatures are real.
Yeah.
I would be so excited.
What fantasy creature would you be?
A witch.
Me too.
Anyway, I'm right.
Okay. I didn't say you were wrong. Just, I know. For argument's sake, let's say that I'm not smart.
Oh my god.
That line also comes out of this chapter, actually. But it's not, like, verbatim. And I really like the way that they say it in the movie. Yeah. So let's say, for argument's sake, that I'm not smart.
Yeah. He says, if you're smart, you'll avoid me. And I'm like, is this victim blaming?
You're right.
Yeah.
Rape culture once again finding its way into our media.
Oh my god.
I'm a sexual violence educator for money. For other money.
Your job.
It's my second job.
Your real job.
It's my one job.
Okay. Yeah, he's kind of like, he's been going back and forth about like what, like, you know, you shouldn't be friends with me, like, I'm not good for you, and then it's, in this one little moment, it kind of comes out as like, if you're smart, you'll stay away from me, which is kind of like putting it on her to do it. As if like he can't control himself, which like clearly he cannot stay away from her.
The thing about this is, if someone said that to me,
I'd be like, bye, honestly.
I would never have gotten far enough to figure out that they were a vampire if they were constantly telling me that they weren't good for me. Yeah. I would believe them. Yeah. Like,
if anyone...
And I'm a Pisces.
If any human being, vampire status disclosed or not, tells you that they're dangerous and that you should stay away from them and they're not good for you or like anything like that, just like
don't
book
date
it.
Them.
Yeah, because whether or not they actually are, whether or not they're being dramatic or they actually are dangerous, there's something going on with them that is not good. Yeah. Whether they actually are dangerous or they just like think it's interesting to be like, I'm bad.
Right. Obviously this is stupid. Like an extreme case, but
yeah, this is like different, but like
I don't know, I just feel like after somebody would warn me that many times, like Bella doesn't know enough about him to know what kind of dangerous he is, so like her logical, non-supernatural guesses at this point, like she's not really making them, but like I feel like if someone was like, I'm dangerous, you shouldn't be around me, I would think they were involved in like
a cult,
crime, or a cult, or like something like that. Yeah. And
I wrote that down. Like I wrote like I would be relieved to find out that it was supernatural stuff and not like some weird.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Weird culty stuff with the Cullens where like they're all adopted and they're like all pretty and like all taking drugs to be super strong. Yeah. Like, cause that would be fucked up and weird.
That's true. Yeah. I guess I would also be relieved.
Yeah. But after he says, if you're smart, you'll avoid me, she, like, gives it right back to him. So, She says, I think you've made your opinion on the subject of my intellect clear, too. I love that she jumps right into, like, that she's trying to figure out what he is.
Yeah.
Like, she just, like, lets him have it.
Would you like to say your thing about Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, oh my god, I was so excited this morning when I realized that Bruce Wayne's name is literally written into this text, which, so it is canon that Batman exists in the Twilight universe, aka Robert Pattinson playing two characters in one universe.
Yeah,
love that. Also,
lovely.
I feel like I brought this up a couple episodes ago, but like Harry Potter must exist in the Twilight universe, aka Robert Pattinson is 3 people.
Yeah,
in this universe.
Page 90. She really goes off. Like Bella really.
Yes.
Goes off.
Oh my god, she goes off so hard.
She says this. No.
Wait, let's like back it up.
Okay.
She won't tell him her theory of what he is because she's too embarrassed, and he's like, that's really frustrating, you know?
And then she says, no, I disagreed quickly, my eyes narrowing. I just can't imagine why that would be frustrating at all. Just because someone refuses to tell you what they're thinking, even if all the while they're making cryptic little remarks specifically designed to keep you up at night wondering what they could possibly mean. Why would that be frustrating?
Oh well.
And he grimaces, and she continues, or better, I continued, the pent-up annoyance flowing freely now. Say that person also did a wide range of bizarre things, from saving your life under impossible circumstances one day to treating you like a pariah the next, and never explained any of that either even after he promised. That also would be very non-frustrating.
He says, you've got a bit of a temper, don't you? And she says, I don't like double standards. Same.
Love her.
Yeah. She never gets to have a moment like that in the movie. She doesn't get to have a moment like that until the end of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he kind of like basically like almost tells her that he can read minds. He looks over. I just feel like this is really irresponsible of him if he's actually trying to not be like taken as a vampire. He looks over at her or at Mike, or he doesn't actually say who.
It's probably Mike.
He snickers and she says, what? And he says, your boyfriend seems to think I'm being unpleasant to you. He's debating whether or not to come break up our fight. And I'm like, first of all, hilarious that he called him her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you're literally like revealing your number one don't reveal secret other than I drink blood.
Also, he like totally ignored what she said.
Yeah. He really did.
At some point, he takes her bottle cap and keeps it, which I think might actually be a Midnight Sun detail.
That's a Midnight Sun detail that we don't get in Twilight, which is a bummer.
It's really wholesome. He eventually gets her to tell him a theory.
Yeah.
Of what he is, and she guesses like kind of superhero-y things, like radioactive spider, that's in the movie as well, and he says, what if I'm not the superhero, what if I'm the bad guy? If someone ever fucking says that to you, just like
run away.
They think too much of themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she kind of like gets it.
Yeah.
But she gets, like, she really, here's what I like about how she reacts. She says, he was dangerous. He'd been trying to tell me all that all along. And then she says, but not bad. No, I don't believe that you're bad. And he says, you're wrong. But it's like, then he's just being self-deprecating.
She's able to separate those two things, which again, I just feel like is not something that I would be able to be okay with.
Yeah.
Like, if someone was dangerous, especially, like, dangerous for me, like, put me in danger.
Yeah.
But was not a bad person, I feel like that's where you kind of fall into this, but they're a good person, and it's like, it doesn't mean they're good for you.
Right. It's like, there's the danger is, like, on a couple different levels, none of which she's aware of yet. But
yeah.
Like, there's danger in that, like, he's a vampire and wants to drink her blood naturally. Like, that's one thing. And then the other thing is, like, introducing her to a world of other vampires that actually actively would want to hurt her. There's kind of, like, 2 levels to that. It's kind of like a moral philosophy discussion on, like, what is bad.
Yeah. And I think Edward and her really disagree heavily on what's bad.
Like, continuously throughout the saga, it's kind of, like, the biggest discussion.
Yeah. She's
remarking on his character when she says, you're not bad. Which I guess you can make the case that he isn't, because his being a vampire is, like, circumstances outside of his control.
Right.
And he is, like, doing a lot to combat that situation. Like all the Cullens are. We really get the danger kink here.
Yeah, we really do.
It's not a surprise that she does all this shit in New Moon, because she's already, like, on a... Yeah.
We find out that Edward is not going to class today. And he says it's healthy to ditch class every now and then. And I just said, Edward would never break a rule if he didn't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he's
such a good
lawful.
boy. Yeah.
And so I thought that was really funny. Like, obviously he does have to because this is the blood typing chapter and he has to miss the blood typing class, but it's ridiculous.
When Bella said, well, I'm going, I was far too big of a coward to risk getting caught, I felt that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never skipped class like that before. And then Bella goes to biology class.
Mr. Banner hands out some blood type materials.
Okay.
What?
You didn't have this lab in high school, right?
No, we never. I was thinking while I was reading it, I was like, I feel like they never would have done this in my school.
Never heard of this being done.
Especially like post-AIDS.
Yeah, literally, like, write me and let me know if this is something that's done in your high school, but it sounds to me, again, I was also thinking post-AIDS because we have so many, like, first of all, antiquated laws about, like, bodily fluid contact.
Yeah. And
things like that. Like, it's illegal to spit on people because people thought that AIDS could be transmitted, or HIV could be transmitted through saliva. Fun fact of the day. Blood? Like, also, like, high schoolers? Like, these people are, like, high school. Like, they're 17.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that 17-year-olds aren't mature, but, like, think of the worst of the 17-year-olds that you knew in high school at that age.
And give them a needle.
And, like, everyone else around you also has needles, and you're in high school. No, thank you.
It's a little out of place. Maybe they did this when Stephanie Meyer was in high school.
Maybe.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Like,
but also, it's just
pre-80s and 90s.
It's just like a kind of a proper setup for, like, Edward not being in class.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that makes sense, but it's like, they could have been doing a dissection or something like that. I don't know.
Oh my god, LOL. Edward wanting to drink the, like, dead frog blood.
Ew. We did a fetal pig.
Yeah, I did fetal pigs too.
Actually, I did not participate. I don't think I have a moral position.
On dissecting?
I think it's bad.
Why?
I feel like it's not really actually necessary to...
For high schoolers?
...do in a high school. I think it's kind of wasteful, and, like, there are people that do need to do dissections to, like, understand how, like, surgeries and things are done. But, like, think of the vast number of high schoolers that have been... like, that have done dissections, and, like, the small percentage of those people that go on to do medical things or biological things that will then repeat dissection.
Is an example of so much money going into science and STEM
that doesn't need to be there.
Honestly.
Like, take all the money that we spend on fetal pigs.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we're missing something, but maybe not.
I don't think we're missing anything. Like, I
think it's just tradition.
Like, I don't remember what we were learning from that.
Yeah. Other than that, like, I don't know how to identify anatomy because it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also probably not good for you to be exposed to that much formaldehyde. But
yeah,
anyway.
it smelled awful. We had ours open for, like, a week in the classroom.
Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I wrote, give her a content warning banner because he didn't warn anyone that this was happening. He just, like, pulled out a needle and started, like, stabbing Mike Newton's finger.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like good teaching, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Like, Bella starts to faint. Because she faints at the sight of blood, which is so ironic.
The nurse is like, oh, there's always one or two every year. It's like, if there's always one or two every year, and, like, Bella knows she's someone that faints around blood,
she would have not
give her the opportunity to not be there.
Yeah.
Like,
fishy.
Fun story about me when I was in middle school. In my introductory physical science class, we did a lab with sulfur, where we were doing something to sulfur, and we were heating it over, like, a Bunsen burner and, like, a test tube or something. And that is the day I found out I was allergic to sulfur.
Wow.
Because I could not breathe. And I had to go to the office.
Oh, that's cool for you.
It was fun.
As much as I disagree with the structure and the situation that they are in, it makes for a wonderful story that I love.
Hilarious antics.
I love this situation wherein Bella feels faint, Mike tries to take her to the nurse's office, and then Edward comes out of nowhere and carries her.
Picks her up with his goddamn arms.
Remember in Life and Death when she didn't carry him?
Yeah.
That
was really upsetting. Yeah. Here's another bone I have to pick with Banner.
Okay.
He sends the one person who is already bleeding with Bella.
Yeah.
Why would you send Mike Newton, who has a pricked finger, when there are presumably 24 other people in the class?
I mean, he volunteered.
But it's still, like, you could be like, not you.
Yeah. And I thought that, this is page 96 now. She kind of like sits down on the sidewalk, and Edward comes over, and I'm kind of wondering, like, did he approach, I don't know, from Midnight Sun, did he approach her not knowing whether or not she was bleeding?
I don't know.
Did he see from far away, from in his car where he definitely could not smell her blood? He probably maybe could have smelled Mike, but like, he was like, was he like so concerned that this is so irresponsible of him?
Oh my god, it really is, especially because, like, I don't know,
he wouldn't have been able to control himself if she was bleeding.
He should have taken I feel like he should have taken a half day, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they should have taken, he should have just gone
I don't know why he did what he did. I think he was gonna drive his siblings home, because they didn't have biology.
Don't need that.
They don't need that. It was for appearances.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just wanting to read other people's minds. Maybe he was reading Mike's mind. Yeah. And he could tell that, and he figured out that Bella wasn't bleeding. He was probably sitting in his car. I can confirm this with Midnight Sun. He was sitting in his car. He was listening to a CD, and he's probably reading the thoughts of everyone in the biology room and watching Bella.
Yeah, you're right.
But although he does seem like kind of surprised when he sees her. He says, "What's wrong? Is she hurt?" And I really like that she hears him say Bella, and she says, "Please let me be imagining that horribly familiar voice." She's like so horrified that it's Edward. Yeah. And he's like, he comes over and says, "Bella, can you hear me?" And she says, "No, go away."
She says this line, and I just thought that this was like a big me mood. I squeezed my eyes shut, hoping to die, or at the very least not to throw up. And I literally wrote a huge mood. Yeah. I love that. I love in this part that he's just like so eager to carry her. He's like, "I'm carrying you." And once he figures out that she's faint from blood, he's hilarious to him. He's over the moon. It's hilarious to him. I just wish we had gotten the opportunity to see him be so happy. It's like that tiny fraction of a moment we get in the biology class in the movie, where she says that she doesn't like the cold, wet weather, and he chuckles because it's hilarious because he is cold. Yeah. And if we had seen this, like, oh my god, she can't stand the smell of blood, that's hilarious. Yeah. Like, that would have been so beautiful. Yeah. I would love to see Rob do that. I want, like, Midnight Sun, the Netflix series, you know? Oh my god. The power that has. So he takes her to the nurse's office, and she's fine after a couple of minutes. She just needs to, like, lay down. And they are talking more. There's so much dialogue. He talks again about how Mike doesn't like him, and she thinks, "You can't know that," or she says, "You can't know that," and then she wonders suddenly if he could. So she's kind of getting piecing things together, mind reading, and I would just think that I was going insane. Yeah. She's so self-assured of like what she's experiencing. I would be like, I would either think that I was going insane, or that this was a really weird kid. Yeah, or he was, like, unhinged. Yeah, totally. Which she never seems to, like, think that he could ever be, like... Because he's hot. Crazy. Yeah. Like, she never questions his sanity. Yeah. Which is really... She questions her own a little bit, but also not really. She questions her own, like, kind of playfully, like, out of obligation, maybe. Yeah. Because, like, her worldview is being changed, but, like, she doesn't ever really seriously lose it. Yeah. In any way. At all. The only thing she's, like, thinks is, like, wild is that he's interested in her. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay. Edward explains that he was in his car listening to a CD. And I'd love for you all to either tweet or Instagram DM or email us or Tumblr message us what you think the CD Edward was listening to in his car is. If you were Edward and you were sitting in your car listening to music and it wasn't Claire de Lune, what would it be? It doesn't have to be time period specific. It doesn't have to be time period specific. I just want to have some... What do you think Edward listens to? Fun things about what you think Edward would listen to, either, like, today or, like... I should make a playlist based off of that. Yeah, that'd be good. And I can include people's suggestions. Yeah, that'd be cool. There's an irresponsible use of the term invalid. Yeah. Which is always an irresponsible word on page 100. It just didn't age well. It's just not something we say anymore. Nope. We get the mention of a character called Lee Stevens. Yeah, we've never heard of after that. Only heard of once from... fainting in biology. Yeah. And there's like this moment where... The nurse too, Mrs. Cope. Oh yeah. This kid comes in, he also fainted. I think he did prick his finger, and Edward can smell that right away, and this is like such a wildly specific use of his power
is to help Bella get out of the room before she faints again.
But she can also smell it.
Yeah. Okay. Can you smell blood? I can smell blood.
I can smell blood.
I don't know why he says humans can't smell blood.
Maybe
we totally can.
It's just like anyone with a period knows what blood smells like, and yes, like it is different smelling than other blood, but like you get notes of blood when you have a period. Like it's blood plus.
Blood plus.
And like when you smell blood
or when you taste blood
in
your mouth, or like if you bleed, your finger bleeds and you put your finger in your mouth, like you know what that tastes like. It smells like that.
I think rust smells like blood, and I really dislike the smell of rust. Like if I hold key or like metal, when I hold keys in my hand, I don't like the smell of that. Money, things like that, they all remind me of the smell of blood. I also am really squeamish around blood, just like Bella. And trendy. Needles and things like that, but I think people can smell blood. Let us know.
Oh yeah, I can totally smell blood, and when I remember reading this as a kid and being like, I can for sure smell blood. Am I special?
And let us know. Can you smell blood?
Then Bella doesn't want to go to gym class, and Edward gets her out of gym class, and like he's such a good ally.
He is. I said we love a supportive boyfriend.
Yeah. Don't let Edward hear you calling him her boyfriend. He'd be so flustered.
He would be really flustered.
Oh my God. I bet that's what Alice does all day at home. And then the weirdest, like, funniest thing happens. And it was this part that, like, made me reflect on, like, their dynamic. Because they get, like, a little, like, huffy with each other. Because he's insisting on driving her home. Yeah. And she's, like, so mad that he's, like, literally forcing her to do it instead of, like, being excited to spend time with him. But she's like, no, I can do it myself. I want to, like...
So you.
I know. But it's like just so funny how like insistent they are to the point of anger about like doing nice things for each other sometimes.
He threatens to drag her back to the car if she tries to make a break for her truck. And I was like, first of all, if someone said that to me, I would not be cool with it. Yeah. I would be extremely uncool about it. Bet. I'd be like, if you fucking
yeah, she's like so mad, and I feel like this dynamic was missing from Bo and Edith.
Yeah. I think that Stephanie explains it away as like the chip on Bo's shoulder. Right. He's a lot more easygoing. Yeah. About things. Yeah.
He doesn't have the self-esteem problems.
He wants to be topped by Edith. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's what it is.
I wouldn't even say that Bella's chip on her shoulder, it's not like this hugely dramatic thing. I don't think. But it does make her feel like a different character from Bo. Yeah. For sure. Totally. They bond over fucking Debussy, which is hilarious. The rest of the chapter, they mostly talk about their families, which is wholesome. Like, they're in the car, and Edward is suddenly like, what is your mother like?
The way that she answers so descriptively and so quickly, I feel like if somebody asked me what my mom was like, I wouldn't have that kind of answer prepared.
She says her mom was her best friend, and I'm like, that's a lot to unpack.
It is a lot to unpack. I feel like there's a TV show now, I think it's on like one of the trash networks, like about mothers and daughters who are like way too close. It's called Smothered. Wow. It's like, you should have other friends.
You should have other friends. Yes. Besides your mom, have another friend besides your mom.
This is as someone who, like, I love my mom.
Yeah, we love our moms.
I also love your mom.
Yeah, I love your mom. She starts asking him about his family and the Cullens, which is kind of the first time that we hear about it's the first time that he talks about them to her in the book.
It's interesting because, like, I know that she knows. Okay, he says, he's talking about his parents, and he says, I couldn't imagine two better people. And she says, you're very lucky. He says, I know I am. And she says, and your brother and sister? And I think it's just weird because she separates Alice and Emmett from Rosalie and Jasper.
Yeah, and then he does too.
And he kind of does too. He says, my brother and sister, and Jasper and Rosalie for that matter, are going to be quite upset if they have to stand in the rain waiting for me. And I just thought it was weird that they separated them out, like...
So that they don't get separated for the rest of the book. Or the rest of the series, and we don't, like, think of them as separate.
They're called the Cullen family. Yeah. Like, I know in function it makes sense for them to be slightly separated because of the relationships and things like that, but... Yeah.
Side note, like, so funny that they can't even pretend not to be in a relationship.
I know.
Like, they can't pretend not to be in a relationship when they're, like, in high school during the day.
I feel like it would be worse, though... if they pretended they weren't in a relationship and
Yeah.
then people found out they were hooking up somehow?
You're right.
Like, what if they, like, that would be really messy.
Yeah. They
probably tried that.
Or they probably just don't want to pretend
Yeah.
that they're siblings with their lover.
That's also something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
no incest
weird either
kinks
way.
in this house. It's just a really flirty chapter.
Yeah.
And
it's basically all dialogue.
Yeah, it's a lot of relationship development. I love it.
At the end of the chapter, he basically tells her that he's not going to be in school the next day. And then at the end of the chapter, they go back to, like, being huffy, which is funny. Mm-hmm. He teases her about being accident prone.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
Yep.
It's powerful.
It's a great chapter.
In the next chapter, I think we meet Jacob proper. Dive into that. Jacob proper. Before we potentially get our guests, I have the Tinder bio.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Our mini segment, Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite.
Crunch. Apple sound. Okay.
Okay.
Here is the Tinder bio. Age 40? Question mark?
This is correct. This is okay.
Male. I put 10 miles. The picture is just one grainy, ambiguous photo of them standing in front of trees, and then the other picture is just like a photo of like a flower bed, and then the bio is science nerd. Green is good. Do you know your blood type?
Sister. Oh my god, it's Mr. Banner.
Do you want to hear the song?
Yeah.
It's that song. I don't know if this is what it's called, but it's I Believe the Children of the Future.
Oh my god.
I put Mr. Banner / Melina. Yeah. That was definitely like a hybrid. Mm-hmm. I pulled from what little we get from the film and the book.
Yeah.
Would you like to swipe left or right on this 40-year-old science teacher?
I'll swipe left because of the thing that Stephanie said about him having a crush on Bella.
What is up with
I
that?
hate that.
Why would she say that?
But I really do like the character. And if I was 40 and he didn't say that about Bella, or he didn't think that about Bella, yeah, I'd swipe right.
Sure.
But me, as a 23-year-old, swipe left.
Let's see if our guests are around.
For our second guest segment, we have two of our guests here with us today. They're going to introduce each other. Go ahead.
That's fun.
This is what we do to each other.
Parks and Rec.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time they talk about Anne, where she's like a beautiful Amazon
starfish,
like snowflake or whatever. So that's Helen. Helen really is Helen I've known since high school.
Here we go. Okay, wow. Here we go.
Should I cry right now talking about Helen? Helen's perfect. I don't know what to say.
It's real time.
Helen's eating a cupcake
that we made earlier.
It's so good.
It's really cardamom forward.
Helen is also an Aquarius.
That's so true. JJ's a math teacher. We love him. He has luscious long hair and a really impressive beard. And he's guiding the children of America to do beautiful things. Like math. Can we start over?
Why?
You can do your intro again if you want to, but...
So this is Helen. She's perfect.
This is JJ. He does math.
That's it.
All right.
JJ is my partner, and Helen is my roommate and high school best friend.
Well, I brought gifts that I was going to distribute earlier because I assumed that we were going to do this not the night before I left.
Oh my god.
But as promised, I mean, you get them too even though you're not part of the As promised, you're Edward Cullen. Please react loudly.
Wow.
And talk about how much you love being a patron.
I love being a patron.
I love this button so much. I'm going to subscribe to Patreon tonight.
Oh, wow.
It's like Edward's got wings.
I love being a patron.
Oh my god.
Elspeth stickers.
Oh my god.
Wow, I love stickers. Wow, it's like he's saying that she stinks. We love that. Oh, so aesthetic.
So we have a couple of questions prepared for you. The first question we have for each of you, and you can go in whichever order you wish, is what is your background with Twilight? What is your Twilight story? What were your, like, when did you first encounter it?
I have to be really honest.
Okay.
I fell really quick into the trap of Harry Potter vs. Twilight.
Oh no.
Yeah, I read all the books in 7th or 8th grade, maybe both.
all in a row, boom, 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 boom. But I had already decided I wasn't going to like it. So my experience of it was probably not so pure.
My Twilight experience was very interesting. So it came out while we were in middle school. The movie did.
Yeah, after Aragon came out.
Right after
singer.
Perfect.
Fourth book, right?
So we were told to like do a book report on a book that was over 200 pages, and so I read Twilight. So everyone thought it was a joke that I chose Twilight, but it was a phenomenon.
But it wasn't a joke.
So I read it.
A chapter of Twilight.
And I did read it after most of my female friends had read it, but I thought it was still cool and fun. And like I liked it. It wasn't great. It wasn't really my jam. I was more of a Percy Jackson fan, but it was good. Yeah. And then my favorite, my I think I was even before that. I was with my dad in Alabama. And we were visiting my cousin's house, one of those cousins that's not really your cousin. So my dad and I were like, didn't know what to do. We noticed that my cousin had a copy of the Twilight movie, and so we unironically watched the first Twilight together, sitting on the floor of their living room in Alabama, just my dad and I. And both of us were like, that was something. And then that's about it for my Twilight story.
Actually, I wanted to know if y'all knew each other during your Twilight phase in middle school.
No, we didn't know each other. We met each other. The three of us all met in 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
So it was no longer cool in 9th grade to like Twilight. So either liked it really quietly, or you were
in the closet about Twilight.
I was in the closet about Twilight, or you had fallen into the Harry Potter Twilight for sure stuff.
I don't know. I was Team Alice till I die.
Till you die.
Wow. Yeah.
Want me to put you as Team Alice in the Discord?
Team Alice till I die.
What is your favorite Twilight related memory with us, Lori and Sam, of any time period? Go.
My favorite Twilight memory of Lori specifically is this week when she watched it 5 times and fell asleep in 5 different spots, but every time a little bit longer through the movie as she prepared.
Yeah. Powerful.
It's really soothing to me.
Yeah. I think with Twilight and Titanic, I like to shut it off after the first 2/3 because the last third doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm not, I appreciate the end of the movie, obviously. I like the prom scene and things like that, but...
Yeah, the end of the movie, the baseball scene.
I have really enjoyed watching the movie recently, though. I didn't realize how fucking good it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The style of it is, honestly, iconic.
My favorite Twilight memory with y'all is the first time I watched it with you after the Twilight resurgence, maybe in junior or senior year of college, and realizing oh, this is fully not just ironic.
Yeah. No, we actually like it. Yeah, I think that's also alarming for a lot of people.
That it's not ironic. Mm-hmm. You gotta spoon feed it with a little bit of irony, and then to allow people to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not the perfect book. It's not the perfect movie. But it's something.
But it also is perfect.
It is perfect.
In every single way.
I lied.
I kind of disagree.
Okay. Sorry, my bad.
I read a lot of...
Yes, you did read a lot.
Fantasy, specifically, and a lot of, supernatural romance books, so I don't really understand why I didn't, I wasn't...
Maybe you should try reading it again.
Honestly, I've thought about it a lot.
There's many copies in the house.
Yeah. I have thought...
I think we have some.
On this last read that we're doing... that something that I haven't really thought before is that Stephanie Meyer is a good writer.
There's a lot that there's something really unique about this book that really draws you in.
What Twilight character do you think you are?
Do we get to take a quiz?
You can.
I hope so.
Do you want me to
Let's do it. Quiz? JJ, do you have an answer?
I was going to say Jasper because I look like I'm always in pain, but I don't think that's true. So
you don't look like you're always in
I think I was just making a fun joke.
You look really jolly. Fun a lot.
Ho, 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 who wouldn't go?
Also, you're not a Confederate soldier.
I'm Charlie Swan.
Aww.
Alright.
That's so cute.
Hey Charlie, you're a cool dude. Just keep being your adorable, oblivious self. Oh fuck. Also, your granddaughter is now a vampire and your granddaughter is growing at the speed of light. Shouldn't you notice that?
LOL. I love that.
Wow.
Great, so we have one Charlie and one
Jacob book one.
Jacob book 1, 5 and 6.
Okay. Lock it in. At the end of our episodes this season, we've been plugging something that we like, and it's a different thing every week. And so this week, let's plug our favorite Halloween decoration.
Oh my god. Ever?
Sure. There's a lot in this house right now.
We don't have this yet. Amazon has, it's like a skeleton. It's very, very skinny and probably like waist high, and it has its hands like, its fists like pressed together, and on the fists hangs toilet paper, and it has just like a little sign on it that says, "Master, your butt napkins." I want it so bad.
The Halloween decoration I'd like to plug is we have a gauze like spooky material, like black spooky material with a spider web made out of rope and some fake spiders hanging over our kitchen light. It's like a fun ceiling tapestry, and I really like that.
The Halloween decoration I would like to plug is 5 replica swords in the corner.
Those are not Halloween decorations.
Not a joke
They
or a
are
decoration.
Just, and not all of them are swords. Is a keyblade a sword?
Is that
Also, why
Guitar.
haven't I played with them
That's a
while
guitar.
I'm here?
One of those is a guitar.
Sorry, axes and
Weapons.
swords.
Weapons.
Various weapons,
Including a guitar.
if you shred a guitar powerfully enough?
I'm gonna go with the like fantasy Cinderella style pumpkin that I have on my coffee table at home. It's like bright orange and like kind of flat looking, has like a little bit of green on it. It's really cute. I got it at a family farm in Maine.
Cute.
Love that.
Oh, I'd like to change my answer.
Okay.
Me too.
I'd like to plug my cat, Mr. Darcy, who's
Oh
a
my
black,
God.
fluffy cat, and
Yeah.
he makes for really great Halloween photos every year.
Is it just me or does he get fluffier around
He
October?
does get fluffier around October.
He is more powerful.
Yeah. He inflates with the power.
The power
Either
of
that
the
or he's been eating Legos food.
Oh, I think it's both. Yeah, I'd like to plug the witch hat that we have hanging on the wall. That is, we have like a string of skeletons that looks like a smile, and then like little eyes, and the witch hat hanging on the wall as like a witch's nose. It's like a face on the wall. That's my favorite decoration that we
It's
have.
really creative.
I'd like to throw an honorable mention to... Oh, JJ's gonna say it.
No, it's fine. You go for it.
No, you can say it.
I would like to. I would like to plug the plastic wall hanging that we have on our apartment door. That is a Grim Reaper on the toilet.
Yeah.
Reading the
you can get a feel for
obituaries.
my sense of
Yeah.
Now y'all
Halloween
are just
Halloween
y'all
stuff.
are just like showing off about how many Halloween
I would
decorations you
like to
have.
plug. We handmade this Halloween decoration out of 2 hanging signs that said "boo." We deconstructed them to say "boob,"
Perfect.
and it's hanging on the wall.
My own joke. I mean,
Yeah.
your own joke. Our own joke, and I still laugh every time. Oh, isn't that good? I would like to plug. We have a skeleton sitting in the corner, but I'd like to plug specifically its spider scarf. It's like an orange string of fluffy Halloween-ness and spiders all over it. It's really cute.
I would like to plug the spider web lights in the wall that actually don't work anymore, and it's really spooky because there is one half of an electric like socket, like the metal part broke off, and it's hanging out of the wall, and it's really scary because I reach back there and I plug my phone in with the plug that is not broken.
Oh,
This
my
is
real
news.
spooky
This is
hours.
news to
I had
Helen.
no idea. This is terrifying.
That's
it's
the
over there.
spookiest thing at all.
That's spooky.
Dying.
Could
I
die at
think
any minute.
That's probably all we have to plug, except we also, because Helen is a bookseller, which JJ didn't mention in his...
Thank you for shouting that out. It's an
thought I
important part of my
mentioned it.
identity.
But Helen's a bookseller, and her passion is children's books, so we have Halloween-themed children's books in our house as well, which is really fun. It adds to the ambiance.
I forgot about those.
You should subscribe to our Patreon, become a patron, and you can get one of the little Edward buttons.
That everyone else was so excited
Yeah,
about.
or you can go to bowlingshirtbellas.tumblr.com/merch and get more information about the stickers and the buttons. if you are interested in that.
And might I say, I sure do love that sweet, sweet Discord.
Oh my god!
What's your favorite part of the Patreon? Is it the Discord?
Definitely.
Did you join because of the Discord?
I joined because of the Discord.
He joined because he felt left out.
He
wasn't
hates
in the
to be
Discord.
left out. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. It's Lori's turn to say.
I think JJ might want to do it.
Oh yeah, do you want to
sign off?
Sign off the podcast?
Perhaps Billy Black did raise a bitch.
Oh my god.
No, for real though. That's all, forks. Bye.
Bye. See y'all later. Bye. Thank you for listening to Gender Forking. All of Season 1 is now streaming.
To stay updated about the podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at genderforking.
For more Twilight content from us, you can follow our blog at bowlingshirtfellas.tumblr.com. For other inquiries, email us at bowlingshirtfellas@gmail.com.
If you're interested in supporting the production and maintenance of this podcast, head to patreon.com/genderforking. The music you are hearing is from O Lucifer.